Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's session. My name is Iskia, and I'm the facilities coordinator for the Redmond Reactor Space. Before we start, I've got a few things I'd like to go over, so please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Useful links will be shared throughout the chat, and the session will be recorded and will be available on demand in 24 to 48 hours on the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel. Which brings us to today's session. It's going to run approximately 1 hour with time for questions throughout. Which brings us to our host today. I will bring them on. Let them get started. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. This is our Tips from the Field series. And the idea is that it gives our experts like Adil, who works very closely with a lot of our top customers, a chance to share what he's learned from actually using GitHub Copilot in some very big enterprise scenarios. And infrastructure as code is a key one. I mean, whether you are new to infrastructure as code and you're interested in GitHub Copilot because it'll make the learning easier, or whether you are pretty experienced with IAC, there will be something in this session today for you. It's going to be a lot of demos, a lot of deep dive. And, Adil, as we were chatting right before, I thought, when I think about using GitHub Copilot for IAC, you're getting the benefit of all the best practices that are built into everything that GitHub Copilot learned from, which for me, because I could probably break some things with IAC, that makes me feel a little better. But I'm sure you're going to teach us some awesome stuff today. So take it away, Adil. Thank you.
Sure thing. Thank you very much, Matthew. So yeah, hello and welcome everyone to this session. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome everyone from where you are tuning in. So yeah, please drop in the comments your location. Where are you from? So it helps, see where the reach is. And yeah, please say hello. So basically today we will be talking about GitHub Copilot and for infrastructure as code. And the aim is to show you how to use it, to understand the code and to be it Bicep or Terraform. I chose those two major ones, and then so see how you can work with them. And as Matthew said, whether you're new to infrastructure as code, ramping up, or using it already, so it will make your journey easier, and it will help you write code faster. And I will show you tips and tricks from the field, from the experience I had with customers and myself using that great tool. So let's dive into it. Before that, I will just introduce myself quickly. Who am I? And yeah, let's do that. So yeah, my name is Adil Touati. I am located in Montreal in Canada. I work for Microsoft, and I've been working for 3 years now in the app innovation solution area. I work with customers around DevOps, infrastructure as code, Kubernetes, container security, and now helping them modernize their apps using AI and adoption of AI throughout the stack of the solutions that we offer. So today we will be focusing on GitHub Copilot, and we'll see how we can use it and how we will what we will be doing about it. Fun fact about me: I like bikepacking. I do a lot of cycling. I like to go from Montreal to New York. I spend a lot of time on the road on the weekend when I can, or in summer I plan bikepacking trips to keep me, close to nature and to meet other people. So that's it. And I'm a big Star Wars fan. So hopefully you will catch my references if I make any. So let's jump into our session for today. We will be covering we will start by a quick refresher of what is GitHub Copilot, and just have an overview to bring everyone to speed. What we basically, just to show you, what are the components we need, how do we install, GitHub Copilot into our IDE. We will be going through the VS Code. I work with VS Code, so I'll be showing you this. And after that, we will go through a deep dive, into the GitHub Copilot specifically for infrastructure as code, and we'll see it in action. This is super important for me because most of the time when people talk about GitHub Copilot, they address the developer community, the software developer community. And we know that we have a bunch of people, a lot of people from the ops teams or platform or data teams who are responsible in in most of scenarios of deploying their own infrastructure. So this will be dedicated to those infrastructure developers and bring that gap and help you see that it's very easy to go and learn about infrastructure code, or use your knowledge. Maybe you are experienced with Bicep, or maybe you are experienced with Terraform, and you change teams and you come up with you find yourself using something that you need to convert, maybe from Terraform to Bicep or vice versa. So you want to use those. And if you are also doing some refactoring, because you are refactoring some code and you want to add some new features or new functionalities, it will help you do that quickly. We will see together what are the options we have and how we can leverage them, and what are the best practices to get the best answers when we work with GitHub Copilot. So and finally we will go through a Q&A session where I can answer your questions. Hopefully you have some. I like interactions with my attendees. And also do not hesitate, please, to drop your questions in the chat. My colleagues will help me spot them, and we can answer you on the spot. If I'm showing something and you want to know or have some comment or question about that specific thing, let's do it together. Okay, cool. So thank you very much. I'm happy to be with you here. Let's see what we have. The little introductory refresher for everyone here. So when we talk about Copilot, GitHub Copilot, how it works, basically we have two extensions currently that we need to install within VS Code. And before that, what is Copilot? Like, Copilot is an AI pair programmer that will help you write code, understand it, and and do some actions around code that you will be using. So you need to bear in mind we're using AI. AI sometimes can be and we can't predict the results. So this is a copilot, not an autopilot. You need to be careful with it. See that it's accurate. Sometimes it might not be. I will show you some use cases so you understand how to use them better. And you will, be careful when you're using it. Double check the output and test it. And I will, throughout this session, I will show you my way of testing what the Copilot answers me when I ask it for something. Also, as I mentioned, we'll be using VS Code. We'll install those. You need those two extensions installed on your VS Code. There are other IDEs that are supported, Visual Studio, for example, and others that I don't use. But just for now, we're focusing on that VS Code piece. So what else? So GitHub Copilot will help you create new code, understand existing code, maybe, or unfamiliar code. Maybe you're working with an accelerator repo from your vendor, and one of your vendors can be Microsoft, and we have, like, for example, something related to OpenAI, search, for example, and you want to fork that repo, and you want to ask questions about it to understand what it does and how you can do things. That would be very handy and very powerful, and will help you accelerate your onboarding and accelerate your understanding of new code. Also, it will help you generate, whole lines of code or some blocks, as well. And it will give you something, keyword, context-specific suggestions. It will suggest to you some code that is specific to your context, and I will show you how to take advantage of those, or how you can use the features that we have with the latest version of VS Code and the latest version of the Copilot extensions. So one little thing I will show you when I show you VS Code, I will show you what is the difference between the two components when we talk about GitHub and when we talk, Copilot itself or Copilot site, and what are the strength of each. Yeah, so let me see. I'm sorry, I'm not monitoring the chat because I can't see it very well. So my colleagues will help me if there is any outstanding question there for you that I can look at. Okay, I love it. Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question. I can't see your name here, but sorry about that. I will go through the prompts and how to write. You will see in my examples how to give enough information about the context, about the intent, what you want to do to make that prompt, more accurate, more easy for the LLM to understand it and generate the brilliant, the correct answer. Okay, so let's see. So those two extensions I will show you in VS Code, but just quickly, we need those two, and you will be deploying them. And once you have them, you need to authenticate. You need to authenticate to GitHub with your account where you have the license. So there are many licenses. I won't go through detail. You need just to know that there are different types of licenses. We have a Copilot for Business, GitHub Copilot for Business, GitHub Copilot for Enterprise, and we have the individual, licenses. So whatever I will show you today applies to 3 of them. So if you have the individual one, you can use exactly the same way. You need to know that there are some free trials that you can use to get your feet wet with Copilot if you want, and you can go and sign up for a free trial and test it on your own. So let's not waste some time. I know that we have a lot of things to cover. Let's look at the Copilot in action. So doing that, let's see what are. So when basically as our question, the question we had, we will need to use prompt engineering concept. So the prompts needs to be used to be able to work with our GitHub Copilot. So let's start with that concept of prompts and how we can use them within our environment. So you can use GitHub Copilot to generate code for you by asking it in the chat. We have a chat section. You know what? Let me share my. Let's switch to VS Code and see that in action, and then we can continue. I will just change it to change the view to my VS Code. So I need to find it here. I need to find the right one. Here it is. Cool. So I'm share it now. So this is where we will be, traveling here. There is something important I want to tell you, and this is what I like about GitHub Copilot, is it helps you stay in the context. It doesn't, you don't need to change, how we call that, change context. Context switching, you don't have that. So basically, you stay in VS Code and you do whatever you want in it. And even if I need, for example, the terminal, I would just bring it here and I can work with my terminal there directly. So let's see what's going on. Okay, I have. Okay, cool. I need just to get rid of the terminal for now. So because I can't do it in. Well, maybe because it's big. Okay, cool. So you see, I have 2 extensions that are installed: the GitHub Copilot and the GitHub Copilot chat. Okay, so those, once you install them, it will ask you. They will ask you for to authenticate to GitHub. That's what I did, and now I have it ready. So I will just close this and go to my repo. I have a repo that I prepared for today, If you look on the bottom right here, I have the, I know it's small, but you have the GitHub Copilot icon, and it will show you, you can click on it and you see the status. So it is ready, so I can use it. I can choose to disable completion if I want. We will look at completions, but this is something you can disable if you want. Maybe you are like me, you do some workshops where you work, you show some code or something. You don't want GitHub Copilot to help you, so you want your attendees to see how you can use other techniques. So you can disable them. There are some cases where you do that. So this is how you manage your Copilot behavior. So if I go back to my code here and let's see what are the options. So I have the chat here. So I have the extension. It shows. Hopefully you can see my screen. If there are no comments about my screen, if it's small, you can see it. That's so we'll stick with that format. So we have the chat, and we can ask it questions regarding the context we're working with. Okay, and we can do other things. So we can use the chat. We can use the code generation, the suggestions when we are in the context of a file, and we will show them. I will show you so you can see them easily. So let me go to this. Let's start with Terraform. So if I take that module, key vaults, I have a module here. I have a main .tf with that code. Okay. So if I look at it here, I can just position myself in this file, and it can start generating something for me. For example, here it sees that I might need an output because I don't have an output in my code base. You see, I have a Terraform main.tf. I have a variable. I don't have an output.tf file, or I don't have code about the output. So it suggested to me. And you see here, it gives me two suggestions. So this is what we call the ghost code, or the code that is suggested, the suggestion within my context. And I can choose to look at different so yeah, here it said maybe you want to create another resource, the access policy, maybe if you're not using RBAC, stuff like that. So you can navigate through those and you can choose. Another way, if you're like me and you like the command, the shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. I'm using a Windows laptop, so you can, if you are using Windows or Linux, you will be using Alt, and you will close the square bracket, and it will toggle between the suggestions. Okay, if I'm happy with it, I can just tab it, and I do a tab, and it will add it to my code. All right, or I can ignore it if I want. So if I do a Control Z, and I do suggestion, I can invoke suggestions when it doesn't do it with Alt and \. So I will do that, and it will bring the suggestions. Okay. If I want just a part of it, I will just Control and the arrow, and I can go and choose the part that interests me within the suggestions. Otherwise, I would just ignore or do something about it. So this is one way. Okay. So another way is to use. So we didn't saw the chat. Let me. Yeah. So this is the suggestions. If I stay in that context, I do Control, and I go to my context here, and I invoke the chat, and I will ask it, for example, to add an output. So let me see. So I prepared stuff here in add. So I can go and create. For example, let's say I will create a new file. It's better, so I can show you better here. So I will create a new file, and I will call it outputs.tf. Okay. So and I don't know, maybe I don't know how to, or I'm lazy. I want it to help me. That's the Copilot, purpose. So I can here do no comment here. It will be like this. So I can write a comment to ask Copilot to suggest something for me. If I do it within the context here on the right, in my file, I'm not using the GitHub Copilot chat. I'm using the GitHub Copilot. I want you to understand the difference between both, because GitHub Copilot chat uses the OpenAI model, the GPT-4. So it has the latest, and it combines the codex with it, and it has better answers, and it can help with using, creating code, generating, like refactoring some big chunks of code or large code. Whereas when I work with the inline, what we call the inline, or the suggestions here, or using the comments to create a suggestion for me. For now, I can say I can create a comment here, and I will use the for example, I will use my prompt here, the same. So it's a comment here. Control Z. I don't know. So let me just take that here. So I will take it. I will put, so like a comment. I will say, okay. I don't know if we can see it. So let me just take this one off here. Yeah. So I'm just asking it. Add some add documentation. Add Terraform outputs. I want 3 outputs. I want one for the key vault name, one for the ID, and one for the URI, for example. And I will just use this suggestion. We will see how it goes with the inline, and we can see the difference. So once I create that comment, you see that it comes up with some suggestion for me. It didn't come up with all the suggestions I wanted. It just gave me the name. Okay, that's good, but maybe I'm asking it too much, because in the chat, in the inline, you want just to be doing different sections, and you say, okay, I want the first output, then you say the second output, and so on. So what I will do is I will do a Control Z. So I'll go back to initial, and I will invoke the chat here, and you will see the difference. So it will see the context. I want you to pay attention to what's going on here. So I have the main file from my module open, okay, and I'm not invoking it in my prompt for now. You will see when I can use it, and I will just ask here, add 3, those outputs, and we'll see what it will be doing. And it's generating what I want it to generate. It didn't generate the comment. It doesn't matter. We will see how we can use them. And here, it uses the main.tf reference. So yeah, it gets the context. It knows that I'm working with a key vault in Azure, stuff like that. So what I will do, I will go back to my output file that I created, and I can directly from here either copy the code or insert it directly into my open file, which is the outputs. Okay, so if I created the outputs here, I can do something else. So now I have the outputs. They look good to me. I will just double check in case, and I will do a Control S for now. You hear me? I will say not control, but control. It's French. I'm francophone. So yeah, while we are together, if there are any francophones among us tuning in, if you're interested in seeing content about GitHub Copilot, or GitHub in general, or AI, or Azure AI related stuff, or DevOps, please put it in the comments there. I will be very happy to organize a session so we can do it. So an ARM template as well. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Yeah. So we will see. We'll see about the ARM template. We will improvise. So for now, we have the outputs here. So I will just save this one. Yeah, I saved it already. So what I can do is I can select my code and do how we call that, Control I, to invoke the inline. Okay, it says ask Copilot, whatever I want. So I will choose the function, which is the documentation, to ask it to add documentation, add comments, explain what's going on with that code. So it adds some comments. We will see if we're happy about it. It says that we have 3 outputs, and it explains them, and it gives some. It says how they're used and stuff like that. So yeah, it gives us some ideas here about some examples. It gives us some examples. We might like everything. We might like something. So for now, we just do a tab for it. I will accept it. So I will just merge it here, and just I will look at it if there is something. Yeah, here it says how to use it. So yeah. It goes beyond. Sometimes I'm just asking it to give the output detail. So that's fine. Let's keep it like that. So I will just do a Control S here and save it. And what I will do is I will save this one. We're almost ready. Let's see what's going on here. So if I go to my back to my code, so maybe I'm new to Terraform. I have that code and I want to understand what it does. What I can do is I can either select it here and say explain. We can try it. So we have the command explain here. So it will explain whatever I selected in my file. And this is using, so you see it's sometimes it's switched to the chat there. So that's what it's using now because it's a workspace command. So here it tells me about what I have in my code base, what it does. So yeah, it explains the some of the parameters that I have, and it says that whatever the first code, what it does, it's a source used to get the current Azure Active Directory tenant ID. So it brings some info and it highlights what the code does, and I can work with it. So that's one way of doing it. And also another way is if I can close this file. Bear in mind that you want to give as much context as you want to Copilot, so you have the files open. But if you are using the chat here, I can do the same thing by invoking the /explain. For example, I can say explain, and you see I have two options: either the one regarding the terminal, so I can do things within the terminal, or within the workspace. And I want the workspace. I want my code base there. So I would choose this one, and you can reference a file. You can do hash. Is it hash? I can't remember. And I can choose the file, and it will look and see which file I'm looking at. I will choose this one, which is in the Terraform modules folder, and I would just say in detail, for example, in detail. Give me explain it in detail. This is one of the ways that we can reference. This is like a RAG technique, retrieval augmented generation. I'm adding some context to my prompt, and I'm sending it with the prompt, and I'm trying to give those. So exactly. So to do so you reference it with the hash file colon, and you reference it. This is the same thing. This is the question that we had on the screen. So that's what I did. If you go back, I'm going back to it. I'm using my workspace. So all the code that I have in my repo that I'm opening with my VS Code, and I'm asking it to explain. And I can ask it many other things and reference that specific file. I can reference another file and it will use it. So I don't need to have it open if I reference it explicitly in my chat here. Are there any questions that I missed here? I'm just trying to see what we have. Let me see if we. Yeah, you can ask question during the session. It's just I need to see them. Sometimes if I'm on my VS Code, I won't see the pop-up. So yeah, so the last question, Mohammed. So I do that also with ARM template. We'll see. We'll also add VS Code speech as well. Exactly. Yeah. So it's a good from Alan, a good call out there. Yeah, we can use that to yeah. So exactly the speech, VS Code speech, which is the new one that we can use. It replaces the voice that was with GitHub Copilot. So it was removed and replaced with this. You can use it as well if you want to do that. So I go back to here and I will go back to the code and to my demo. So we saw how to reference files. We'll see them in detail. Let me see, for example, yes. Okay. Maybe you have a question, about you're creating your output files and you have a question. You say, okay, I can't remember how do I create a secure variable? We have variables here, like we have a bunch of them. Sometimes we want them to be secure. We want them to be seen when we run our deployments and stuff like that. So you can go to the chat here and ask it and say, okay, so let me just see here. Okay, so in Terraform, how to secure variables? So let me see. Okay, how to set output, for example, variables to secure. Let's see if it will understand what we're saying, because we don't want it to be shown when the execution is happening. So, and it will give us, this is powerful. Yeah, it uses a reference, it doesn't matter, but we'll go and give you the accurate one. So it takes the context, because we have a context there and it's open, and it says, oh, if you want, you just need to use sensitive equals true to your code, and this way you secure your output. So that's a handy way of chatting. And you see, I don't need to go out from the VS Code. I stay within the VS Code, and I can get answers to my questions. And this is very helpful. I like it when we don't need to change context. Oh, if you want to enable it in VS Code, I had a question in the chat. You need to install two extensions. Go GitHub Copilot Chat and GitHub Copilot, and you need to authenticate to GitHub. And if you don't have an account, you just create a free one if you don't have a license, and you can use that for some time. So let's go a bit beyond, okay, that. So let's use that module. Let's say, okay, I have a module here. I don't know how to use it. Let's use it, okay? Let's go and use that module. So I have a main.tf file that is empty. I have a variable that is empty, and I have a Terraform.tf file that is empty, okay? So I will use Copilot Chat, the power to generate for me the way to invoke my module or modules. Let's see how it goes. So once I have it, so I can do okay. What I can do here, let's see if it knows. So I will use the workspace. I want you to create maybe, yeah, we will build it together. So I will go to the chat. I will invoke the files that I want, and I will ask it what I want it to do. Okay, so using, I will ask it to use that file. Okay, so that file that I want, the Terraform, this one, the Terraform module. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what did I do? Oh, man. Okay, file. I want this one, which is this main Terraform module. Here I can see it. Terraform. This one, this main. Okay, I want this one, and I want it to do something with it. So create. I will ask it to create Azure resources in Azure. Okay, let's start with something. So something basic. Okay, cool. I'm just lost on my notes here. So first of all, in this main.py, I can go and use the power of IntelliSense. Okay, and say I want to have my use my. So let me grab it here. I have it. So yeah, in preparation, I had some file that I that I need to change. Okay, I will use the module. So here I will say, give me a module, okay, and I will call it like maybe KV, for example. Whatever, I can give it the name I want. And here, so if I have my my module, so I just go and open my module. I want it to be open here. So that's the module I'm using, and I will start to use this. So I will try to invoke. Okay, now that I have it open, so module KV Azure. Okay, and here, okay. So source, yeah, it tries to help me here. I like it. So yeah, I need a source. Okay, go look for the source. So this is the module. It's not. So it didn't find the. I said LV. Sorry, I have trouble with those. So KV. Okay, cool. So here I will just go and grab my module. So I will go and find it here, which is in modules KV. I believe that's what we have. Modules and KV. Yeah, so exactly. And it's asking for a couple of things. So I will go and see what are the requirements for me. Let me see if it knows, if it will do it here. Let's use chat. Okay, use file. This one is the one we wanted. Using. So that's main .tf. Okay. Yeah, let's ask it this question. Use this the file, the key vault module file to generate code in main to be able to consume it. So we will see what it will come up with, and test it and see how it goes. So we are in key vault. So we need just to make sure that we are in modules, and we're calling it KV. So that's something we need to change. And here we will see what it have. So it gives us some of the information. Did it pick everything we have? We need a name. Okay, that's great. It's looking for a name here. Var name, var location, var RG, and var SKU, and var environment for now. But maybe this one we need just to go Control Z. This one I will just yeah, keep it like this, like without the condition. So here, yeah, name, location, RG, SKU, and environment. Well, environment production. Yeah, let me send it here. Yeah, maybe I have things that. Sorry about it. Yeah, I didn't do my cleanup, so let me do that. So that's something I wanted to show you. So we have it, brilliant, and you see it detected what are the variables I need. So that's brilliant. It found it. I'm happy about it. So let's see that. Let's see how it goes. Resource group, whatever name we have. Okay, let's see if our code is correct. Let me see it in the terminal. I will go to Terraform file folder, and I will see that I have my files, and let's do a Terraform in it. So and even I can ask it here. I can ask it how to deploy. Maybe I forgot, or I'm new. That's also something I can use. So how to deploy Terraform code to create resources in Azure, and it will give me the detail. If I go to the chat here, I will ask it this question, so it will help me. What's going on here? Yeah, the Copilot voice. I need to get rid of it. I don't know, because it's, yeah, the speech now, the VS Code speech. Okay, cool. So here it says, you need to authenticate for using Azure CLI. You need to authenticate to your Azure environment, and then install Terraform and do a Terraform init, do a Terraform plan and a Terraform apply. So it gives you the way to do it. So it's very handy, and I will just go and create here. So cd. Okay. Let me just see what we have here. Okay, so yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, we have it here. So Terraform init. Yeah, sorry, I did here. I will just redo it here. So yeah, how can I deploy Terraform code to Azure? To create resources. It will tell me exactly what I need to do. Gives me some advice on you need to authenticate. You need to do all that Terraform workflow. The init and all that stuff. So I will just do the init here. So we'll see if we have any errors about our code that we have here. I will do a Terraform. It says plan. Let's do a plan. I can do a plan. I can do a validate if I want. It didn't tell me, but I didn't ask it for. So I can do a plan and see, do I have an error regarding that plan? Maybe I have an error. Hopefully it didn't. So it looks like my code is correct. How can I bring this up? Okay, so you can see it. Yeah, and it says it needs to create like 2 resources, the random and the key vault. So that's brilliant. So it helped me accelerate my onboarding on that. So what I will do is I will just go and go back here, and I want to refactor. Let's say this is like very static. I don't want hard-coded values. I want to go and grab them from TFVARs, So what I will do here, I will just ask it to create a TFVARs for me with some kind of a map of 3 Azure Key Vault resources. So what I will do is I will go and select my file, the one that I'm using. So it is this one that is using the module. I will keep it open. That is using the context. Sorry, I will keep it open, and I will just go and ask it here. So I will take the workspace. I want it to look into my workspace. I want to see my file, which is the main.tfvars, this one, and I want it to create a TFVARs that contains a map of 3 Azure Key Vault resources, and I will see what it will generate for me, because this will help me have like more a better code instead of having hard-coded stuff here. While it's doing a thing, let me just see if we have anything in the comments here. Okay, yeah, so yeah, maybe sometimes it gets confused. You need just to open them, have them open, Mohammed, and on the the tabs there in your Explorer, and you can use them, or you can reference them, as I said. So here it says, I like it. I just love it. You need a variable. So it says you need to go and declare that variable, and it's a map. And it can do better. What we will see. And then it says go about this. But I want the TFVARs file, so it's here. So that's the TFVARs. I just like it. So I will go and grab my TFVARs, which is empty. Okay, go back to my chat, and I will just copy this one, the list, the map of my key vaults that I want. So I just add them here. I will just close this one here. We will grab it later. So I have a map. I'm happy with the layout of the map. It is red. We can ask it why it's red, because I know why, but maybe it will help us. So Control Z. That's not what I wanted to say. I will ask Copilot with Control I, invoke it, and fix. Okay, Fuzzy, tell me what's going on here. So to fix the problem, I would move the key vaults attribute inside the Terraform block. So yeah, it tells me this. I'm not happy with this. Maybe it's yeah. So basically, what it needs variable. That variable key vault is not declared. I don't have it, but it tells me here I need to have it. So if I just grab this one, that piece of code here, and go to my variable file, I can add it. So this is it's a way, but I can make it better. But at least we have a map here. If I do a Control S now, and Control S, and I go to my tier from tier, I don't have the errors anymore because my variable is there. And Copilot anticipated that and gave it to me in the chat. I have it here. And then it shows me how to use the code to create my key vault, my 3 instances using an iteration of for each. So I can go to my Terraform here and I can replace my code with the new code that it will go and do an iteration. So that's very, it accelerates stuff for me. So I will save this one, okay, and this one I will see if I can make it better. So let me see here if I will select it in the context and I will say let's say an optimized, if it understands what I want to do. I want it to be optimized. I have I should have kept it open. No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't keep it open. So yeah. So yeah, no. Okay, using. So I will say yeah, using file. So I will go and look for my tier vars, optimize the variables. Oh, okay. Sorry about it. I will just take this one. Yeah, I can do the arrow. So go back to my previous chat there. So optimize the variable in, and I can tell it which file, which is variables that I like that it tries to understand what I am. So let me use that here. So let's see if it comes up with what I want to do. Because I wanted to select. So this is why, yeah. When you do the same thing, sometimes you have different ways of doing that. So that's what I wanted. This is optimized for me because I can specify the different types of each variable. With the map any, I keep it large. I like that it understood it, and it was just saying optimize. It knew what I wanted. I would just replace. For me, that's a better map. What I can control the nature of whatever I have within the variables. So I'm happy with that, and it's doing a great job for now. Let's keep it like this. So I will just save everything here and close. And if I go to my here I will invoke the command line and cd Terraform, and I can do another plan and see if now it sees that I want to create 3 different key vaults. So I didn't see any error. That's a good sign. Let's see what it does. And it says 6 exactly. So we have 3 key vaults, 3 random strings. I like it. It's doing what it should do. So yeah, accelerating my adoption and working with Terraform. And I can take it another, another step further, and I can refactor, tell it to refactor if I want. So I think basically that's brilliant. Yeah. So what else I can do? I'll just take the time, see where we are. Time is passing quickly. So let me see something else. So with Terraform, you saw that I can generate a lot of code. Sorry, that's brilliant. Let's imagine you are working with Bicep, and you have like some Terraform code that you want to convert. In the same fashion, you can go and convert a Terraform file to that. So we can use it. So let's say I have the TL vars here, that's file. I want it to be converted to an equivalent within an ARM template or a bicep parameter file. So I will use the chat, which is the most powerful one, and I will go and do it. So I will ask it, convert, and I will specify which file, terraform.tfvars, into, and I will just do it, the content to a bicep JSON parameter. I can say bicep, I can say ARM template. It will know. And for the first question we had when we started the session, somebody was asking, how do I do a better job in my prompt? Look at my prompt here. What I'm asking is create, convert it to bicep. I've given it enough info. Let's see what it does. So convert to a bicep, parameter file, and I'm specifying that the key vaults parameter is an array. If I don't do it, it might get confused and gives me some kind of how we call it, an object. It might get confused. So because of the data structure. So if I'm specifying that is an array, it will be better. This is what how I'm helping my Copilot to do a better job. So if I look here in my code, so whatever it's generated, let's see if it makes sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, so I have an array here. I like it. So I have a square bracket. I have my array, and it's bringing everything I had there. So that's super powerful, and I can start using that. So once I have that, I can say, okay, go and convert the code in the main, okay, modules KV file to an Azure bicep and reference the parameter file. If you want to migrate from Terraform to bicep, I can do that as well. So I will go and create a file called parameter, so I can use it. So if I go here, I can let me see here. Let me go to my bicep folder. I have something called generated. So new file params.json. Okay, so just do that. If I write it correctly. So if I look at my params here, I can go and insert whatever the chat gave me here. So I will just insert it here. It looks good to me. Let's see. Okay, inserted, beam saved. So now what I will do, I will ask the chat something else now that I saved it. So I will go and ask it to convert the code in the main.tf file. So convert the code in the file. I want the main.tf here in Terraform, and I want it to be converted, and also the modules, because yeah, maybe, yeah, I will give it more context. So and so it knows the context. I will go to the main, the module file, and I will tell it convert it the content to bicep. Yeah, to bicep here. Yeah, so to bicep, and I want it to use the JSON file. So you see, I'm referencing a lot of files here and giving loads of context to my prompt and to my LLM there behind the scenes. So, and that's it, file, and we'll see what it will do. It should create for us a bicep file structure that we can use to deploy the same thing using bicep instead of Terraform this time. So let's see what it's coming up with. Here I see the key vault array. So yeah, so the parameter, it adds it. Yeah, I can say it without the values. Okay, that's not a problem. So yeah, so that is doing the iteration. Let's see if this is something that looks good or not, and can we test it? If I go to my generated file, I can create a main.bicep file, and I would just copy the content that chat generated for me, and I'll just put it here and see what we have. We have some parameters that are missing. So we have only one parameter basically, or we'll just go and grab it. It gives us a parameter that is very, so I don't need that. So I will just, because this is a default value, I can say, okay, I have a parameter and the default value is empty, whatever. And so key vaults here. So it has key vaults. Okay, what is it asking for? So character, yeah. I have something that is, maybe I have something that is missing somewhere. Yeah, we will look at it. All right, so here, let's see if it can correct it. At the end of the for loop, okay. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so it's not complaining. I need just to see here what's going on here. Okay, no, it's still okay. So yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to see if it if there is a missing. I don't know what it's missing. Okay, so yeah, sometimes yeah, we need to do different tries. Sometimes it it doesn't go through, but okay. Yeah, so this one is not, it's not doing it as I wanted it to be. Let me give it another try. So okay, still okay. It gives us some alternatives here. So I'm just trying to see here the keywords. What is it? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this. Let me just see. Yeah, maybe, yeah, so yeah, this, I need an S. This is better. Okay, so it looks better. Let me just see here what it's complaining about. Declaration type. Okay, yeah. So yeah, let me just correct this one like this. It should be easier. Okay, so now yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have it here, and we can test it. And if we don't know how to create maybe a resource like that, we can ask the chat as well. We can ask it, how do I deploy? How do I see that this can be deployable as well? So I can ask it, give me the command to deploy in the same fashion that we do a plan in Terraform. We can ask it how to deploy in a create mode. So yeah, I can even give it like some better. So I can tell it what to do. So using that file, which is the main.bicep. Go and look for that. Using that file and the parameter file, which is this one, I will ask it, how do I test deploy? Okay. So even if we have a combination of Terraform and Bicep, the fact that I give it the reference, it should know what I need to run in an Azure CLI command line. So it says I need to log in, I need to go to the file, and I need to go and do a deployment with a what if. I like it because I said dry run, do a test, and it's giving me a what if here. So I can just copy it just for reference here. We can remove it later. So yeah, so it's giving me enough information how to deploy using Bicep. So this is as well a good thing. I know that we're spending, we maybe went above the time. There are many things that I didn't have the chance to show you, unfortunately. I will just take some time here to answer any questions you have. I think, yeah, because otherwise we'll be going over the time so much. Okay. No, yeah. You can use it in the terminal. Yeah. So to install it, you have the link to it, so you can have the GitHub Copilot for the CLI in the terminal. You can use it if you wish to generate some code regarding your like, let's say here. So first of all, you need, give me 1 second here. Am I on the right? Yeah. So first of all, you need to go in the terminal. You have what we call, let's say I have some examples here. So Copilot suggest. I can do some suggestion here. So you need to install Copilot, GitHub CLI. Once you install the GitHub CLI, so you can see it hopefully in the screen. It will show the link to install the GitHub for the CLI here. Thank you very much, Askia. So once we have it, you can go Control C, Control R, extension. Let me do the extension here. So once you have the GitHub CLI installed, you can go and install the GitHub extension, which is this one, the GitHub Copilot. Once you install it, you need to log in the same way. You need to log in to GitHub to get your license sorted out, and then you can ask it some suggestions about what you're doing. For example, here I can ask it, yeah, how to get a list of projects, for example, in Azure DevOps. It doesn't have anything to do with our context here, but it can go and show me to me, and I can tell it. And yeah, so it's generic shell, and it will give me the Azure CLI, which is the Azure DevOps project list. It can do that. That is brilliant. I can ask it about Git commands or GitHub commands and stuff like that. So it will, sometimes it's easy to go because you forget how to iterate through your code and find something. It's very easy to use the command line. So I thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry that we didn't have enough time to cover everything. I hope you get a glimpse of the capabilities, the difference between the GitHub Copilot chat, the GitHub Copilot inline, how you use the suggestions, how you toggle, and how you can refactor your code with enough information and context that you give to your GitHub Copilot. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, I'm trying to catch the So let me put it in big screen because I can't see very well for people who know me. But yeah, I'm doing my best. Cool.
Thank you to Adil and thank you to Matthew. Thanks to everyone for joining in. As you've seen in the chat and on screen, we would appreciate any feedback. So if you would go ahead and take some time to fill out that survey, that would be fantastic. And we look forward to seeing you next time.